Alright, huge movie and Godzilla fanatic Nate coming right back at you. Continuing my ever ongoing quest to rewatch and review every single Godzilla movie ever made, and it's kind of picking up now because we're in the 70s, we're in the 1970s, and in my opinion the Godzilla movies get from reasonably to considerably better, in my opinion, from a lot of the stuff that they made in the 60s and the 70s movies. So I've pretty much been watching almost every day or every other day a Godzilla movie, starting with Hedorah and then Gigan and then on to Megalon. So I'm here to review Godzilla versus Megalon that came out in 1973. So I mean, they just, from 1971 on, they put out one a year, which is pretty something. And it's quite the feat, but it makes it easier when you use all kinds of destruction footage from previous films, which unfortunately this movie does as well. I mentioned that in the previous review, Godzilla vs. Gigan. Now, this movie was one of the last Godzilla movies, actually second to last movie in North America that got a widescreen DVD treatment. There's still one movie, Godzilla 1985, or Return of Godzilla, which still is the only Godzilla movie in North America that doesn't have an official, DVD release, which is really frustrating. But this is the second to the last Godzilla movie to get a DVD release, widescreen with original, Japanese language and stuff. And this was put out in 2012 from Tokyo Shock. I guess it's basically, I can't remember the name of the outfit, but whatever. Put out this, relatively cool. I mean, it's, anamorphic or widescreen, and it's got English or Japanese language, so it's pretty cool. It's a long time coming. I wanted to see, have the widescreen version of that forever. So I'm a fan of Godzilla vs. Megalon. I just rewatched it probably an hour ago, and it's not, for me, it's not as good as Godzilla vs. Hedorah, aka the Smog Monster, but it's better for me than Godzilla versus Gigan. It's right in between. So I'm going to go two and 3/4 stars, 2 3/4 stars for Godzilla versus Megalon. It starts off really strong, and unfortunately for me, it kind of devolves as it goes on. But the whole movie is like, it's kind of like Speed. The movie Speed, like dun 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 dun. With Keanu Reeves. It's like Speed because it's like once the movie starts, it doesn't really stop. For me, it's really cool in that aspect. Unfortunately, some of the stuff, in the middle of it, when they're doing the, already tired, overly reused and reused and reused and reused shots of the military pulling in and shooting and stuff, and from the 1960s, and then they'll cut to the, current 1973, Megalon getting shot and stuff. So that's kind of frustrating. But and just Megalon going, berserk once he gets, once the Jet Jaguar, which I should also talk about, flies away, and it's kind of dumb, like why would he just go nuts? So anyway, basically the premise, if there is one at all, for Godzilla versus Megalon is you have these 3 million-year-old Seatopians that live in the, it's like an Atlantis situation or something like that, where they live under the ocean or whatever. And it's like they're all Caucasians, which is funny, and I gotta tell you, I mean, the outfits that this guy wears, like the main king of Seatopia or whatever, are just some of the stupidest outfits you could ever imagine. Like, holy crap, he looks stupid, really stupid, and really stupid. I can't stress how stupid the costume is for this king of Seatopian guy. Fortunately, we don't really see him very much, maybe 3 or 4 times, just brief shots of him giving orders to the Caucasian henchmen, Seatopian henchmen that are going out to the planet. Basically, the whole reason for this movie is 3 million years of peace. Seatopia has enjoyed 3 million years of peace, and that's not just a couple decades, that's a lot of decades. And because of the humans' ever, ongoing, frustrating, underground nuclear tests, it's destroyed actually one of the Seatopians' topias or whatever, one of their villages or one of their cities or whatever, one of their topias. It destroyed, I think, completely destroyed one of them. So obviously that can't stand. So Seatopia with the Caucasian guy with the horrible outfit is like, Megalon, you know, we cannot tolerate this. We must destroy the humans before they destroy us. So I don't know how, you know, if Megalon is a Cetopian creature or whatever, but all of a sudden it's like, Megalon, go to the surface and destroy the humans or whatever. So that's the whole premise of the movie. So basically the beginning starts with this really goofy ass, I can remember because I had the VHS tape when I was a kid. I bought it because it had the picture of Godzilla fighting Mechagodzilla on the cover. And I was like, oh, finally, you know, but it, you know, the description and stuff, as you'll hear in the video from when I was 12, talking briefly about this movie, that I read the description on the back, which doesn't mention, you know, Mechagodzilla. And my mom's like hesitant to buy it. She's like, it doesn't mention Mechagodzilla. He's on the cover. Mechagodzilla's on the cover. Why would they put him on the cover if he's not in the movie? So I was really disappointed to find out that he ain't in the movie. It's really cheap.
And then I'm a Godzilla collector. Godzilla versus Megalon. Well, that's not Megalon. See, they sucked me up. But Godzilla fights for Earth against the insect-like creature Megalon, alive as a jet jaguar, a robot with the power to grow in size. They protect Earth from an undersea invasion. High-quality VHS. Year produced 1940. Color. Running time 90 minutes. 1985 classics. Star classics. All rights reserved.
But so I had this like in 88 or 89 or something like that on this VHS tape, and when I first started, and this kid's in this lake with these stupid happy cartoon character, you know, he's riding this happy cartoon character. I don't even know what the hell these things are supposed to be, like dolphins or something like that. And he's just like, he's sitting on it, he's got like socks up to here and shoes on, and they're just completely soaked, and he's like, you know, the thing's moving, it's supposed to, it might propel you in complete dead calm water, but not when there's like waves. He's just like, he's like, oh, hi, and you got like my two dads on the surface, I'm not the surface, the shore, going like, the guy's like in a suit and shit. He's just like, what are you dressed like in a suit for to go out on a Sunday picnic? But whatever, man. He's like, hi, having a picnic, yeah, looks like fun. So, you know, right off, the movie starts with action. Where basically from underground, there's an earthquake and a big crack forms in the lake, and the whole lake just completely drains. And I think that's the spot where the Cetopians, you know, I don't understand why they're Cetopians if they're under the ground, that they're not even in the water. Anyway, that's where the Cetopians, I think the crack that the Cetopians come out of and send Megalon out of and stuff. So at the same time, somehow they know, I don't know how, they know that this inventor guy, who's got this inventor's son, invented this robot, you know, Jet Jaguar, which I think, you know, just like Megalon, which is ironic, I think we never see Jet Jaguar or Megalon again. And both of them are pretty cool, especially Jet Jaguar, are pretty cool damn characters. And Jet Jaguar is very much like an Ultraman situation where he's a man size and he's able to grow up. He's just a robot that this inventor made, and he ends up having a life of his own. Normally he's controlled by voice, you know, but he ends up coming, you know, when the duty calls, he ends up have a personality of his own, and he ends up growing up to monster kaiju size, so he can, you know, fight a tag. This is another tag team movie, which is kind of cool because it's the new monster Gigan, previously introduced in the last movie, and also the very new monster Megalon versus Godzilla and Jet Jaguar. So I don't know where the hell I was going. It's so many intricate, you know, very important details I'll juggle and try to give you the whole thing of this. So anyway, the Cetopians send some Caucasian agents up to basically, like, I don't know if they want to steal Jet Jaguar so they can have Jet Jaguar control Megalon. It just makes absolutely no sense. Like, why would Megalon follow Jet Jaguar? But anyway, they you know, this whole movie is action. Not action, but I mean, the whole movie, it is never really a down point, because as soon as, you know, the very beginning is the earthquake and the kid almost gets sucked down into the, you know, the funnel of the lake that empties into the crack, and as soon as they survive that, they go home and they encounter burglars, these, you know, Seatopians that are agents that are sent up to try to commandeer Jet Jaguar so they can control Megalon. So I mean, it really never stops. It's really pretty impressive in that aspect. And again, very much like Godzilla versus Ghidorah for me, it's kind of cool because it's not a bunch of different characters. It's just these three people, which is like my two dads and this kid. I think the kid is actually a little brother of this inventor, and the other guy is just whatever, Mr. Race Car, you know, Mr. Race Car friend guy. So I better start cutting this shorter. But I pretty much just told you the whole thing anyway, so whatever. So, you know, these bad guys, these Seatopians are controlling Jet Jaguar for a while until, you know, this inventor has they're controlling it from the inventor's house, which they've commandeered, and this inventor has like a thing around his neck, a special microphone to control him, but he's got to be in invisible contact, so he's able to recommandeer Jet Jaguar and tell him to go get Godzilla, and he does that, and that's when Jet Jaguar kind of comes alive with his own personality, and he's on like autopilot for the rest of the movie until the very end. And he goes and gets Godzilla, comes back, and you know, when Jet Jaguar disappears, all of a sudden Megalon's like, ah, you know, I don't have a commander telling me where to go. I'm just gonna go nuts. Ah. And of course, this is when the movie kind of starts to devolve for me, where it's like they just show shots of basically from previous Godzilla movies of King Ghidorah's little ray that happens to look exactly like Megalon's, conveniently so they could use this old footage, is just destroying cities we've already seen destroyed in previous movies. And it's like, you know, and then the army comes, you know, rolls up in shots we've already seen like 4 or 5 times already, and it's like shoots them. Even shots that they used in Godzilla vs. Gigan in the previous movie, and it's like, screw you. So they lose some points. Ordinarily this might be 3 stars, but because of all that crap, and kind of the way it just de-evolves, anyway, towards the, you know, the half towards the end, for me, it's just like, we'll go 2 3/4 stars for Megalon, or Godzilla vs. Megalon. But there's some really cool set pieces, and I kind of like Megalon in general. I'm kind of surprised that he's, like I say, he's so stupid. Like, he needs, once his handler flies away, he's like, But some cool stuff they do, and you know, they kick, you know, at the very end, it's kind of like, oh man, that's cool. And you know, Jet Jaguar and Godzilla kick the hell out of, you know, Gigan, send him packing, and then they really tear up Megalon. And anyway, so I think Megalon jumps back into the crevice that he came from or whatever, and the Seatopians seal it, and they're like, well, it's worth a shot. They didn't exactly defeat the humans, so probably the next week after they do the humans do another underground nuclear test, but whatever. So Godzilla versus Megalon. I think this same outfit this year put out a Blu-ray of this, which figures. But I'm not going to buy that. The DVD's fine, and it's not like a movie I watch all the time. So, I'm fine with the DVD of Godzilla vs. Megalon. So I think that's going to end it for this review. It's kind of cool, and Jet Jaguar really, in my opinion, really kind of steals the show with all his, you know, kind of Ultramanish arm movements, and Jet Jaguar really cool, and it's really surprising that he never, as far as I know, or in a Godzilla movie, he never came back. And same with Megalon. They're 2 characters that are really pretty cool that I think are only in this movie. So if you want to see those 2 characters, you got to see this movie. So thank you very much for watching. This is Huge Movie and Godzilla Fanatic Nate signing off. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.